I'm Bobby Hune, and let's queer up politics. New Epstein Island photos released in LGBTQ Rep. Garcia's push for transparency. House Democrats on the Oversight Committee have released never-before-seen photos of Little St. James, the private Caribbean island where many of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual crimes occurred. The newly unveiled images shared Wednesday include bedrooms, bathrooms, a study, walls lined with masks, and a room featuring what looks like a dentist's chair. One blackboard is scrawled with the words power, deception, plots, and political. Representative Robert Garcia called the photos a disturbing look into the world of Jeffrey Epstein and his island, adding, quote, "We are releasing these photos and videos to ensure public transparency in our investigation and to help piece together the full picture of Epstein's horrific crimes." Excuse me. The release signals that Democrats may continue publicizing new material even beyond the Department of Justice's planned December 19th publication of the Epstein files. Trump signed the bipartisan bill on November 19th directing the DOJ to release evidence seized from cameras, computers, recording devices, travelogues, employees list, and even a photo CD labeled Girl Pics Nude Book 4, end quote. But though the House and Senate Democrats say more documents remain hidden, Senator Ron Wyden recently accused Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent of withholding thousands of financial records that could reveal Epstein's money trail, accomplices, and the institution that enabled his crimes. Wyden said, quote, "Bessent's not only hiding these docs, it's a lie," end quote. One thing for sure, from what I read, the Epstein's money trail is ridiculously complicated. And the truth is he handled money for many, many people, including founder of Victoria's Secret. That's gross too. And looking at the pictures, can we bring back the pictures, Steve? The house pictures. Okay, one, that picture is creepy. One thing, the mask looks like grinning old white man. And the other thing is the dentist chair is, I imagine it's not used for what it's intended to be used for. And then all the rest of the pictures are very 90s generic furniture. Like, you know, if you walk into the 90s, like contemporary furniture store, you see them. That Panasonic phone belongs to a museum. But notes there's someone called Larry Sell on it. I wonder if it's Summers.
Well, that's actually what I was going to get into is like, you know, this is so much more than just Epstein, you know. This is about how powerful men act. At the end of the day, this house of horrors was their playground. So many of them would go to that island and abuse many often underage women against their will because they just viewed them as property. It is absolutely disgusting. You know, Jacobin Magazine specifically did a piece about this, calling how, you know, the elites are uncancelable. You can't cancel them. And Larry Summers was the example of just look at how associated he's been with Epstein. We've seen it more and more. We knew back then he was known for saying sexist comments. He was removed as president of Harvard for sexist comments, but somehow Larry Summers keeps coming back. And all these other men that are involved. There's some guy at the White House, Donald Trump, I think his name is, supposed to be associated with this man as well, and he's still in office, for pity's sake. It's deplorable.
He has a picture with the Pope. Literally, His Holiness the Pope.
Which one?
Epstein had a picture.
Which Pope?
I don't know. It's from the back. He looks probably John Paul II.
Wow. But do you think the Pope went to his island?
No, I think he met the Pope. Maxwell right next to him.
One of the things I saw in helping research for this story was that Senator Ron Wyden recently accused Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent of withholding thousands of financial records that could reveal Epstein's money trail. And his accomplice, the accomplice is to Epstein and the institutions that, basically enabled his crimes. And, one of the things that I found interesting was before getting into the current role that Scott is in, of course, with the White House, is that he was part of a group that ran SFM, which is Soros Fund Management, and that was in Britain. And when the currency declined, they profited by $1 billion. So,
speculation is the trait of the elite and the ultra rich. You can't speculate on stocks on your savings.
And Larry, I think it's great that you mentioned our U.S. Treasurer, just to know that some gay men can be involved in this horror.
Oh no,
and that's just wonderful.
Unfortunately, there are people in the LGBTQ plus alphabet that are not angels, and we know that. And I think that, people, that's the thing, crime and morality across the board. There can be great people with integrity and there can be people who don't. And unfortunately, there are people in our community who don't have it sometimes. Well, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.